I started this talk, I just want to show you the article that I come across. So this was from the CNN, and it says that the 22 richest men have more wealth than all the women in Africa. And it also says that the world's richest 1% have more than twice as much wealth as 6.9 billion people. It also says that the number of billionaires have doubled over the past decade. However, the value of unpaid care work by women is 10.8 trillion annually. So this article was taken from the Oxfam's annual report that was released ahead before the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. So the World Economic Forum is basically bringing all together the most influential, wealthy people all around the world, including the leaders from the countries and the leaders from the private sectors. So what this article basically telling us is there's this global inequality and gender inequality in the world, where because of the biased economic system, it's excluding many women from getting a privilege, getting an opportunities, and getting a fair income, while allowing billionaires that mostly dominated by men to gain mass fortune and do very little to the society. So because of this biased economic system, that pro to the rich, that's why there's this gap in the world where the rich become richer and the poor will remain poor. So as the TED Talk today, the topic is Be the Change. So I remember when I was younger, or when I was a kid, the word change didn't have any impact on me. Like, I have 5 and 7 years old kid. I have 2 young children, 5 and 7 years old. I asked them to change, and I told them to change in daily basis. Sometimes I asked them to change their clothes, change their dirty shoes. I even told them a few days ago that, sorry, mommy, not going to be in the weekend because mommy have to do the TED Talks, so we change plan. But it doesn't have any impact on them at all because it's relatively a painless change. But as I grow older and entering an adulthood, the word change has become scary to me, because the word change might equal to uncertainty. The word change equal to getting out of my comfort zone. The word change is also equals to uncomfortable stages and could be an ultimate pain in the ass. So as I prep this talk, because I told you I have 2 young children, and they love this book very much called The Very Hungry Caterpillar. So I'm going to show you. This is the life stages of a butterfly. As you see, the life stage of a butterfly, I find it similar to our life stages as a person, because it started, for the life stage of a butterfly, it started with an egg that turns into a caterpillar. At this caterpillar stage, the mortality is very high. They're subject to predators, they're subject to weather change, and sometimes they don't make it, most of them are not make it to pupa stage. So once they come into a pupa stage, then they will turn into a butterfly, reach their final destinations, and fulfill their life purposes. So I find these butterfly life stages is kind of similar to our life stages as a person, as a human, because many of us is also have challenges and have to go pass through several stages in our lives. We have certain challenges, and many of us probably stuck in our own comfort zone and didn't level up or go to the next stage just because we afraid to take risks, maybe, or because we doesn't want to get out from our comfort zone. So it's really similar to our lives. And so the questions is, maybe you will ask, so why change? Change is the only thing that allowing us to grow. Because if there is no change, then there is no growth. And the grow is, what I'm saying by grow is, could be a grow in your financials, grow in your personal relationship, in your spiritual relationship, any kind of growth. And yeah, maybe the second question is, why now? Because I believe that we're living in a golden era of youth. Well, I call it the golden era of youth because I believe that the word youth and millennials was really overused this day. You know, they say that we are shaping the future. They say that we are the generation Y. Maybe because we like to ask why, the question why, but I don't think so. I think we are the generation Y because maybe we are the reason why. Maybe because we are the reason why there are so many successful startups company in these countries right now. And we are the reason why there are many also a unicorn company in this country, in this era, millennials era. And also even our president just built a team recently called, the little team that called a staff millennial. And that's only happened in this era because we are shaping the future because of the millennials. And I believe also if 5-10 years ago, if you come to a job interview and you said that, what is your previous job? And you said, I was an influencer. Then people probably will laugh at you and wouldn't take you seriously. Like, what kind of job is influencers? But there are so many, there are so many young people aspire to be influencers today. And there are so many of them that make it a success and really make a big bucks by being an influencer or YouTuber. So the YouTuber influencer wasn't even invented as a job description like 5 years ago. It was only until recently. And I believe also we are the only generations that maybe if you showed up to work wearing your PJs, but I'm saying not a PJs as in private jet, okay? PJs as in pajamas, and maybe using your Havaianas, people won't think that you're sloppy. Don't worry. People will think that you're edgy. And that's with the millennials these days, And also, I think we are the only era where we can turn a piece of shit and make it into a creative work. And people will pay for it and will think that you're some kind of genius. So that's only happened in this era. And because I believe that when you want to be the change, you have to be impactful. And when you want to be impactful and you have to be impactful means you are on the way to become the next generation leaders. So my topic today is the next generation leader. And to be the next generation leader, I believe that you have to follow at least these 4 simple rules. The first one is that you have to first find your mission. I was lucky enough that I come from a decent family where my parents can send me to school overseas. So when I was in the uni, I was studying in Australia for 3 years. I majoring in accounting and marketing. Then I come back to Indonesia. So when I was younger, I tend to live in the bubbles because I have everything so easy. So I tend to live in bubble. I call it bubble because I simply don't really care about what other people think or what other people do or what other part of the world's doing. I just care about myself. As long as I'm in my comfort zone, then I'm fine. So I call it bubbles. And I believe many of young people right now also still live in a bubble, especially because of the growing social media that really make us more and more self-centered and more self-obsessed to our own self-little world, that we started to compare our lives to each other and be more self-obsessed to ourselves. We are started to take seriously how many likes, how many comments that we get every single day. And I think that in that case that we are probably not living in reality. In fact, we are probably living in virtuality right now. So I was lucky enough that I could find my mission 2.5 years ago when I established my first social enterprise, SASSY. SASSY stands for Socially Aware Sexy Cosmetics. It is a social enterprise that aims to empower women through beauty. So from the percentage of our sales, we contributed to local charities across Indonesia. At this point in time, we already contributed to 10 local charities across Indonesia. And it was a turning point in my life, and it's really an eye-opening journey where SASSY is no longer a job for me. The job title doesn't matter anymore for me. It's more than just my passion. But SASSY has turned into a mission to me, a mission in my life. So first of all, I think it's very important. SASSY is my mission, but what is your mission? Because it's very important to first find your mission. It was me. So I was lucky enough that I can meet all these people personally, face to face. So we went to visit and contributed to several orphanages. This was me in a pesantren, one of the pesantren in Jakarta. And that was during the Jakarta flood victim in 2nd of January 2020. And this was me during my visit to kids with a terminal disease. We also visit mental rehabilitations last year. So we do so many visits that really makes me realize that we have to make an impact and have to be more aware, basically, to our surroundings. So secondly is mindset. This is the second rule to be the next generation leaders. Because I think mindset is a game changer. Mindset is everything. And as I prep this talk, I come across to this researcher, Italian researchers called Professor Fabrizio Benedetti. So he is a researcher from Italy that is undergo a research about a placebo effect. Basically, they split up these two groups of patients that are about to undergo a thorax surgery. A thorax surgery is a surgery to cure a heart and lung disease. It's basically a big open procedure surgery. And where all these patients, they split into group, I call it Group A and Group B, where the Group A, of course, before you get into a big procedures, you have to be given a painkiller, right? A morphine sulfate. So the first group of patients were given a morphine sulfate administered directly by the doctor sitting next to them, while the other group of patients, or I call it Group B, was administered by a predetermined machines through their IV. So they're sort of unaware of it. What fascinating is the result of these two groups was very different or totally different. The first group was given by the doctor directly, was feeling more positive towards the healing process, feel more positive, feels healthier, and feel like they have been cured. But what about the other side of the Group B, that was administered by a machine? Unfortunately, the Group B patients feeling down and feeling that probably the painkiller is not enough, that I still feel pain, that they feel very pessimistic towards the healing process and towards their life. So what this basically telling us that mindset is a mind games, and mindset will determine your future, because everything is started with your mindset. And the third one is to take actions. So before I start this one, I'm going to show you Person of the Year, Times Magazine, President Donald Trump. And it was his 16th time to be the cover of Times Magazine. And I mean, everybody knows him. He's one of the most powerful men on earth right now. But I'm not really interested in him, actually. In fact, I'm not interested at all in him. What I'm interested in is the girl that is next to him, that has took the world by storm by simply taking an action, by simply speaking up. I mean, she wasn't come from a well-connected family with a good networking and so on and so forth. She's just an ordinary girl, just like me, just like you here. But she already makes such a huge impact by simply taking an action, by simply speaking up and say what she believes is true. And it says, if you can see the little title there, it says The Power of Youth. So the last one is, how do you become the next generation leader? Is I think that you have to grow and utilize your social network. Because I believe everyone in here right now has at least 2 or more social media platforms. So can you please raise up your hand who has 2 or more social media platforms? I mean, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Is TikTok even count? I'm not really sure if TikTok count, but let's say, yeah, with TikTok, Twitter. So, yeah, fair enough. I mean, many of you, I saw some people did not raise his hand. I mean, you guys are so different. Maybe you guys already make a difference today in this room because you don't have any social media. Awesome. So, anyway, I have 2 social media that I currently quite active in, which is it's Facebook and Instagram. I just recently signed up for TikTok like a month ago, but it's still empty. I mean, I did not upload anything yet because unfortunately, my husband right there, who's supposedly become my TikTok dancer partner, keep bailing on me on a regular basis. So we ended up never practice and I never upload anything on my TikTok. But I love TikTok. I mean, TikTok is amazing. It's one of the fast-growing social media tools right now. I mean, I was even thinking to advertise in TikTok for my brand. So yeah, I think it's very important to grow and utilize your social network because the news in social network, in social media, is spreading like a virus. And it's really up to us whether you want to spread a positive virus or a negative virus. It's really up to us. And I hope that we all can use our social media wisely. And we can use this as a place to share, as a place to support each other and to grow together. So this was my last questions. Are you the next generation leader? And this was not a rhetorical questions, okay? So I really expect you to deep down inside ask yourself whether you have what it takes to become the next generation leader. And when I say or when I talk about the next generation leader, I wasn't asking you to run on a political party, run yourself as a governor or go into a politics and stuff like that. Not at all, you know. What I'm saying by the next generation leader when I'm talking, I'm persuading you and I asking you to be basically just be more aware to your surrounding, to what other people's and what other sides of the world's happening, just to be more aware. And because I believe that all of you are the agent of change. And when I talk about the next generation leader, I was actually referring to the young YouTuber Ajay Nagar that went by name Kariminati in YouTube that now has more than 7 million subscribers. He was first mocked on the social media because he has this very thick Indian accent. But then he went viral, and now he's embracing his Indian roots online. And he has over 7 million subscribers in YouTube. So when I talk about the next generation leader, I was also referring to a very young boxer, Ramla Ali, a woman, an Islam woman from Somalia that just won an English boxing title, and she made a history because she's the only one who ever won an English boxing title. And when I talk about the next generation leader, I also referring to the young and very impactful Greta Thunberg, 17 years old. Actually, she just recently turned 17 last month. That took the world by storm by simply speaking up. So I believe if they can do it, all of them can do it, and a 17 years old girl can do it, I believe you can also do it. Thank you.